If you've been watching me for the last 5 or 10 minutes, you're probably thinking to yourself, there's something just not right about this boy. I have Tourettes Syndrome. Has anyone ever heard of it? Lucky for all of you lot, guess what? What is your name? I'm sorry? Lobita? How come you're not over there with him? Okay, come. Can we have a big round of applause for Lobita? Lobita, come join me on stage. Okay, so what I'd like you to do is just stand here with me. Everybody put your arms out like this. Now squeeze just a little bit down. This is where I get nervous. You're Americans, you're all a Sue happy bunch. One pulled muscle, put your arms out like this. One pulled muscle, I might lose my house. Okay, anyway, I want you to just feel that little squeeze. All I'm asking you to do is think about taking some of the information we go through today and use it in your life and see what happens. Everyone put their hands down. Fantastic. Now, what I want to explain to you, and you can just watch me while we're doing this, I thought you'd get kind of fun being in front of 1,200 people, is imagine this. You're born, your life is wonderful, and at 8 years old, your brain breaks. It doesn't happen like... But it breaks like a mirror does, or like a windshield does. And the most amazing thing is it happens over a month to 2 month period, so it's imperceptible. At 8 years old, you don't know how to verbalize what's going on. All of a sudden, your life is fine, and then it tanks. All of a sudden, you feel massive amounts of anxiety. You can't concentrate. You start getting obsessive-compulsive thoughts. Everything just sort of breaks. And that's exactly what happens to children more and more. And on February the 10th next week, we do this every 6 months. And this is, I really appreciated what Ed said about change this morning, is on February the 10th, we're having a bowling evening, and we have turned, and here's the key, is that you can take a child who's 9, 10 or 11 who thinks that Tourette's is really awful, and they're all caught up in it, and in one evening you can change a kid from thinking about Tourette's as being negative to positive. The difference is, you've got to drag that kid out of the house. In other words, we talk to parents, if your kid has got Tourette's, allow us to just drag him out for one evening. And what happens is that they basically come into a room and boom, they let go of all those negative thoughts. And we've literally seen people get their lives back. So if I just see hundreds of kids changing their lives in 1 hour, and I believe all of us can do that. It's a matter of epiphany and choice. So that's one of the things. But what happens is, you're wondering, why I'm on stage? Very good question. Hang out for another 5 minutes and we'll get to it. What I want you to do is to realize that there is a black box that sits here, and what it does is it just pours out massive amounts of anxiety. And when it first hits you, you feel like you just want to just jump out of your skin. And then all of a sudden, your body goes... And by the way, who here would like to learn how to have Tourette's? Everyone put your hands up like this, please. Everybody put your hands up. Everybody, please. Everybody. Good. I deputize you all with Tourette's Syndrome for the next 2 weeks. I will teach you how to do it. It's amazing. You'll get rid of stress. So here's what I would like you to do. I'd like you to check out, see that we need to have one of these with the, there we go, fantastic. What I would like you to do, there's a volunteer. I would like you to imagine, what kind of car do you drive? Here, hold that and speak into it.
A BMW?
A BMW, marvellous. It broke down. Isn't that awful? Come here so everyone can see you. There we go, and they can just look down here. Now, do you like Brad Pitt? Because you're on the side of the road.
Yes.
Yeah, because you're on the side of the road and you're hoping that it's Brad Pitt.
Okay.
Okay? The trouble is, it isn't. It's me and my friends from the Tourettes Syndrome, and we're driving to the MGM Grand for the Tourettes Syndrome Association conference. So, we're driving down the highway and the car's wobbling around and going, hi, what's your name? Nice to meet you. How are you feeling, alright? Doing alright? Okay. Now in the back of the car, don't turn around, there's a friend of mine, kind of go close up on the camera on one of these if it's possible, is you get this. Hi, my name's Tristan. I'm single. Are you?
No.
Okay, don't move for this part. It's really important not to move. Okay, I just want to make sure that everything's fine. Who here has ever seen the movie Jurassic Park? Right, good. There's a friend of mine, his name is Duncan McKinley. He's got a PhD, he's got full-blown Tourette's. Please don't move, because someone might get hurt here. Okay, this is what he does. Can we have what's your name again?
Lupita.
Can we have a big round of applause for Lupita? Think about it. Who is the last person who should ever be a public speaker? Someone with Tourette's Syndrome. All I'm suggesting to you is whatever you think that your major disadvantage is in life, you've been working on it on so long, at a subconscious level, it's probably turned out to be one of your most important assets. Make sense? Own it, embrace it, and you'll be amazed at what you can do. And here, let's move on. You're going to love this. When I was 21, seriously, I went out because I wanted to be a pilot. I wanted to be an airline pilot. I flew solo. Imagine if I'd been successful. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to United Flight 54 from Los Angeles to New York. Today we're going to be flying at an altitude of 28,000 feet, then go down to 14,000 feet, then over to 7,000 feet, and then rapidly right back up to 32,000 feet because our captain has Tourette's Syndrome. There are 3 sets of safety belts. Please put them all on. The crash helmet, definitely put it on. Does that make sense? Yes, and by the way, we will be heading towards New York, but then to Venezuela, then up to Iceland, and this 3-hour flight will take about 15 hours. Welcome to the politically correct Tourette's Syndrome flight for United Airlines. Okay, let's move on. This is a young friend of mine. His name is Mandeep. Mandeep is one of those rare people, because you're all probably thinking, how come he's not swearing? In fact, 9 times out of 10, a client will go, I bet you will swear sometime during the 90 minutes. Anyway, what Mandeep has, he has absolutely full-blown Tourette's Syndrome. Think about the worst swear words that you can come up with, and then double it. And that's what this guy does. And then think that you're like a sailor, who are like well known for swearing. And the wonderful thing about Mandeep, he calls me about once every couple of weeks or so. And what he'll do is he'll swear down the phone, and then he'll say, oh, by the way, it's me, Mandeep. But here's the key. We used this photograph for the national conference, I think it was about 3 years ago. And in order to get that photograph where he's in midair, it took about 15 trials. Does that make sense? He just flew up into the air. And here's the key. For one moment in this kid's life, he was absolutely perfect. And here he is, and if you could ever get to meet Mandeep, he's the most enchanting young man, because between the Tourette's Syndrome, you see a wisdom and a peace, which I will show you at the end of this session. And what's really scary, if you come to Vancouver, British Columbia, he just got his driver's license. I don't know how he did it, but he did. Think about it. And here he is, and I decided not to have children. And if there was ever someone I was proud to have a son, it would be him. There he is, Mandeep. And here is, well, thank you. But here, let's move on. I believe there's a little voice inside of us that stops us from doing things. And if you're in this room, you've already pushed through that voice. What I want to do is to share some tools with you, which I've been able to use in my life, because basically I'm a high-functioning autistic. I see things differently from you. I process information differently. Every moment of my life is all like this. And by the way, a twitch isn't a singularity. It's an orchestral sort of, it's sound of movement and song. I got to do this with my finger, my little finger, and I have to do this, and I have to twitches. I have to pull here and here, and then when I was a kid, I used to look under my and here's the irony: you have to do it just perfectly. You know those people who have OCD and they can't leave the house? They got to wash their hands 50,000 times. Who saw the movie The Aviator? Right? That sort of thing. Well, basically, they're our cousins. The difference is, if you just got pure OCD, you have to stay in the house and do all your stuff. With Tourette's, you're mobile. You just bring all your twitches and rituals along with you. Ladies and gentlemen, someone in an audience came up to me about 5 years ago, and he rocked my world, because he basically said, what's cool about you having Tourette's Syndrome is you really can't hide your disadvantage away. You've got to deal with it. You've got to embrace it. Whereas so many of us civilians, or non-twitching people, what we do is we hide those things away and we don't deal with them. It's my hope and my prayer. Let me get to the truth. Is the darker side to Tourette's Syndrome is I normally wake up every morning in hell. You know the movie Groundhog Day? You know, it's like, I think Bill Murray is one of the most incredible actors. When he sits there and is listening to Cher, well, that's what I wake up with every morning. It's like I've had a huge party the night beforehand. Does that make sense? And I wake up completely hungover.